My father Capulet will have it so, and I am nothing slow to slack his haste. Immoderately she weeps for Tybalt's death, and therefore I have little talked of love, for Venus smiles not in a house of tears. Now, sir, her father counts it dangerous that she doth give her sorrow so much sway, and in his wisdom hastes our marriage to stop the inundation of her tears, which, too much minded by herself alone, may be put from her by society. Now do you know the reason of this haste? Hi everybody, it's Andrea, aka Violet Kitty 411, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much to everybody who has recently been engaging. I really do appreciate the comments and the likes and subscribers. So do continue. I do really want to drive this community. So anyway, we are back in Veronaville for another family redesign. This time our comments are the second of three Monty families. Recently widowed, Antonio must either give up his job at the family restaurant and use his savings to raise his twins, Beatrice and Benedict, or hire help and keep the job he loves. What will be his role in the family feud that may have cost him his wife? Oh, the drama, the drama. Okay, so we are, of course, going to be doing a multiplier as well as a randomizer for which house we're going to be doing. And the houses are relegated to these three. Now, this one actually was in the bin, but it was clearly meant to be in Veronaville. It fits the theme of the more agricultural side of Veronaville. So let's go ahead and find our multiplier as well as our house. Oh, and in case you didn't remember, the Antonio normally starts with $19,870, but he received $33,000 from his father when I reduced the income of the family ranch. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so first we will spin for our multiplier. Oh my gosh, 5. All right, well, all of these properties are pretty expensive, so that gives me something to work with. $250. I might be moving some money back to mom and dad. Okay, and which house 3? Okay, great. I think that's actually the most expensive of the three. And indeed, Helluva Hacienda is the most expensive of the three. So it sells for $55,233. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and let's go ahead and check it out. So I'm actually very excited about this. I have played this build quite a lot, but I've made significant changes to it, and so of course I will do so here as well. One of the biggest things is I will really finish out these grounds, I hope, to make it happen. Now I have over 250,000 simoleons to work with, so we are not talking about a small budget. And like I said, I might be sending some back to the family farm, and let's just get on with it. So of course it's supposed to be 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, but it's a very awkward floor plan. So this is the kitchen. I think this is supposed to be the dining room, and this is the living room. It's just awkward. Of course, it's got the same arcades that we saw in the Monty Ranch. So a lot of wasted space, and we will take care of that. So I will go ahead and enclose these 2 areas here. And I'm also going to enclose the courtyard a little bit, about that much. And I will use the same clear tiles that I used in the Monty Ranch to create the whole concept of the central courtyard that is usable year-round. And just to remind you, this is Simified by R. Giles at Mod The Sims 2. There's actually a whole bunch of them of different colors. And I do believe that the sun shines through, but I have to double check that because it has been quite a while since I have actively used this. Oh, there we go. Make it a little more finished. There we go. So now we have a lovely courtyard. And I will be using these arches, even if I'm not actually using them On the interior, we'll go ahead and use them here for the courtyard because it just really kind of makes sense for this. Now let's go ahead and strip it as we do. I'm actually not going to delete these walls because again, we're kind of going to keep the nature of the hacienda feel. So the shell, I'm not going to change other than the fact that I enclosed the courtyard. Now the nature of a hacienda is that they do actively use their courtyard as part of their living space, and that of course is a more subtropical, temperate to subtropical climate, which with seasons we do have snow and things, so that's why we do need to consider enclosing the courtyard. And so all rooms basically lead off the courtyard. It is the center of activity. A true hacienda would be a multi-generational home, so you're going to have a lot of family members. Now I have in the past actually created additional rooms, not completely upstairs, but created additional rooms off of this area, but I'm not going to today, although I did toy with the idea. So now that I have it as deconstructed as I want it, we're sitting at 33,663, and of course we're going to work on the facade first because it was too plain Jane. I couldn't handle it. We're going to of course replace these arches with the same windows that I used on the Monty's ranch because that does make sense. And we're also going to paint it with one of those nice pastel, like more than pastel but less than primary colors. I actually decided on blue for them, so let's get that done. So not sure that those are the last touches I am going to make to the exterior as far as windows or anything, but I am going to go ahead and do the roof slope angle, and we're going to change it to 30 because it should be shallower. Steeper roofs, for the record, are for snowy areas so the snow doesn't build up and collapse the roof, which is why in alpine areas you will see roofs be very tall, like the 75 right here. Well, that's actually way too tall. Let's maybe 55, but something like this. Alpines tend to have higher roofs, that way the snow doesn't build up. So in a Mediterranean they're going to be much shallower, and definitely it's a better look for that. And like I talked when I did the Monty, generally speaking, they're all going to have that same color. Now on the top floor, there were actually 2 bedrooms and a bathroom and a hallway. I'm actually going to keep this as pretty much just the master suite because I've recovered so much through getting rid of the arcades. So this will be Antonio's bedroom, and I will just put the circular staircase, I should say spiral staircase, leading right up to it. We're going to choose the most expensive and the darker one. So I'm actually going to have it to the right of the entranceway, and when I go up I'm actually going to do something a little different. I'm going to create a little bit of a gallery to down below by creating that much of an area that we can look down upon, or that sounds really bad, but yeah, this will be open to below this much. And then I am actually going to have a small room off the master suite, but this is a total suite for the master. So the floor plan I'm going to do for the master is going to be a smallish bathroom right here, and this will actually be a study, or it could be used as a nursery. That way you've got ready access to the baby, and then this would be everything out, the bedroom and everything, and we are going to partition this off with a wall with a dark top. Okay, so there's that. Now for the lower level, I am going to enclose the staircase so Antonio can ensure his privacy. And for the sake of symmetry, I'm going to make a little powder room right there, which means I will actually change these windows because, or just put really good curtains, because windows that big on a powder room might be a little awkward, but you know what? We're not going to do that just yet. And this is how I'm going to enclose the entryway. And then I will create this side. Now, you should know me by now. I definitely do want to go ahead and have my kitchen at the back of the house. Antonio is a chef, so he definitely cares about his kitchen. So we want to take that into consideration for him. And we're going to use a couple of these archways for that. And we're going to put one of these right over here. So the kitchen is going to be 3 by 5, which is a good sized kitchen. It will be able to have a small eating space in it. And this will be a 5 by 6 dining room, which is a very comfortable dining room. Now on this side we will have the kids' bedrooms, and it's gonna be like this is one. They will have a Jack and Jill right here. They each have a closet and then another. So we've got a formal living room over here, a less formal dining room over here. So that is the floor plan that I am going to be working with. And let's go ahead and get it decorated. Okay, so after I added all my textures and I enclosed the backyard as it should be, just to give it a little more presence. Plus, if you've got a pool, you should really have your backyard enclosed, I'm just saying. And I did put the pool back in. Of course, it is much smaller because there was no need for that much pool. But my current balance is $68,187, and of course I still have such a large bank account. All right, so let's take a look. I couldn't have this completely open because the nature of the floor plan down here, but I will decorate this with various things. So it is going to be an open area, and there is my sweet soloist making herself known. We have the little office and or nursery that would be here should Antonio meet the woman of his dreams and they have a child together. Bathroom here. And like I did on the Monty Ranch, I'm keeping it very neutral because again, that's part of the whole Mediterranean. I thought the flooring was entirely too busy, so I just used this as the entire flooring for the courtyard, and then a more neutral stone for everything else. I just found it easier on the eyes. It was just too much. There is such thing as less is more. Okay, so back here we have Antonio's nicely designer kitchen, then the dining room. The dining room, I like to put reds in dining rooms. Not sure if you're aware of this, but red actually is an appetizing color and blue is an unappetizing color. That's why there's in cheap diners the thing called blue plate specials. It's less food on a blue plate and people fill up thinking that they've eaten a good meal, but they've been tricked into it because they saw blue. I guess it probably doesn't work on colorblind people, but that's why that happens. All right, so the great entrance way here, and then Beatrice and Benedict have identical rooms right here with the Jack and Jill and their closets. So now I'm going to finish landscaping and decorating, and I will be back. And now the reveal. So we see it from the curb. I changed the textures of the doors and windows, pull everything into a more cohesive theme. We've got the natural highlighting these, the whites with everything, so a much more cohesive theme. We flank the entry with lilies leading up to the sculptured topiaries. Now these are actually the oleanders that come in the base game, but they are found in Castaway and they are bigger, so they make much more of a presence. And now let's look at the inside. So as we enter, we are greeted with a chess table where the kids can work on their chess when they get home from school, or last thing before they leave for school, something to do. And there is, to the right, the staircase leading up to Antonio's loft. To the left, the powder room directly off of that. And I should probably put curtains in there. I haven't done that. And past those, to the right, is a desk where the kids will drop their homework. And then through that is the informal rec room. So in here we have the large TV, gaming system, music, a telephone. Good to have a telephone several places. Very comfortable. This is informal. Now, since the central courtyard serves as a grand hallway of sorts, it is an entertainment area. We've got art, pool, poker. You can put, a llama game in there, mahjong, something. And here we have the two kids' rooms. This would be Beatrice, this would be Benedict. The rooms are identically appointed with the exception of color themes. So this one for Benedict, the shakily in the dark. For Beatrice, the shakily in the pinks. From the other side of the entranceway, we enter the conservatory where our dinner guests can enjoy some violin or piano, have a drink. From the conservatory, we enter the dining room, seating for 8. I like to use a dresser as sort of a buffet because it seems like it should have one. Nice grand floral arrangement. And Antonio's kitchen, which has some nice clutter on the counters. They should have no problem using all these counters because the counters don't actually hold the clutter. They are on the floating shelves, and I place them back here with bull props, snap objects to grid false. I tried to put at least one painting in each room just to kind of flesh it out. We came in at $253, $852, and my budget was $264, $350. Upstairs, I really decked out Antonio's room in the Bollywood stuff from Sims Life Stories. The look-over area has this beautiful garden, which nobody has to take care of because these are all carefree plants. We love those. Antonio's office right here, showing us a lot of color. Again, I kind of set the tone with the windows. I hadn't originally included a closet for Antonio, but it sure seemed that the place needed one, and of course it helps bounce light around when you choose the mirrored one. And the nice thing is there's a mirror. There are 2.5 baths, one upstairs for Antonio, one downstairs as the Jack and Jill for the kids, and then the powder room off of the entranceway. So from the courtyard, we do enter the backyard where there is a smaller but plenty decent sized pool where they can play Tim Latorno for all they're worth. And if you didn't know, Tim Latorno is actually named after one of the producers named Tim Latorno, and his wife actually came into a Facebook group that I'm a part of very recently and informed us that sadly he is struggling with ALS, which is a terrible disease, but she wanted us to know how much this game meant to him, and let me tell you, I did kind of have all the feels over that. Also, Academy Latour is named after Tim Latorno as well. So, yeah. Okay, getting weepy-eyed now. Now, Antonio is a knowledge sim, so in case he wants to gaze upon the stars, we've made that a reality for him. In one corner of the backyard, we have a little fishing hole for the kids to start contributing to the family funds. In the other corner, we have the garden for Antonio so he can grow his own produce for his restaurant, which includes sunflowers for the sunflower seed oil that he presses himself, and also some catnip found in Castaway. And of course, we do have a social area in the backyard, which includes a little bistro set, a nice hot tub from Life Stories, and a barbecue. So now let's put our family in. Okay, so we're back in the neighborhood, and let's give our family the money that they need. Family fund space, quote, Monty space, II, quote, and then it was $264,350. Enter, make sure that it took. And it did, so let's go ahead and buy that house. Okay, move-in day. The kids are going to check stuff out, and so is Antonio. Let's see what they think. Now in the conservatory, the kids should sit down and listen. Well, okay. She's not, but okay. And Beatrice, can you actually even sit on the angled chair? Dad's playing very nicely. Very nice. Dad, why don't you make some breakfast? So yes, Beatrice can sit on that chair at an angle. So our kids are having a terrible little concert. And that's fine. That's fine. And their dad put their omelets right on the table, and yet they're picking them up and going elsewhere to eat them. Let's see, I'm guessing they're going to go out to the... Yeah, that's awesome. All right, well, okay, so they're sitting at least under the umbrella. That's good. Apparently they can't use that dining table even though he put the dinner there, but that's fine. After a healthy omelet, the kids are hitting the pool in the rain. And let's have them play Tim Torno. Oh, something caught fire. Oh yeah. And fortunately, the rain put out the fire that it caused. Okay, you're fine, kids. You're fine. Well, or is this... Oh, this one's burning too. Okay, great. All right, awesome. Awesome. We had a fire. We had a fire. I am pretty sure that I had a fire alarm out here, but maybe it doesn't work if I only put it in the backyard. I thought it covered the entire yard, but I should probably put one in the front yard just to be safe. Now they're both heading to Dad's room to take a shower. That's great. Benedict's making it first. Antonio's enjoying his pool table. And I think overall the family is very pleased with the new hacienda. Well, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I do try to respond to everybody who comments, and I will see you soon in the pixelated world. And that's all I have to say. VK out.